it's understandable as to why you look at me differently after I talk about issues, because one thing that I often do, I feel like, is put on a positive image for people. I really do, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people can relate to this, bro. That's the thing. I feel like a lot of people, I've really realized that a lot of the issues that I have, there's so many other people out there that are having the very similar issues. It's the best thing I can do is to project out positive energy, because it brings more around. They say like what goes around comes around. Sometimes I don't even feel that way, but sometimes that really positive image that I have can be a little bit overwhelming when it comes to people around me. I remember when I was walking around my school or whatever, which in this video that you're seeing right now, this is when I was on the way to the school actually. And I remember one time somebody told me, like one of my really good friends too, she had told me, oh, I really want to be like you. Like I really like, you're always so positive about things, you always get stuff done, you always do this and you always do that. And I told them straight up, it's like, damn, when people really talk to me about it, I kind of just straight up tell them, like, you really don't. That's one of the things that I notice, is that it's so easy to paint a picture of somebody through the cover. And that's why I really try my hardest not to do such a thing. I really try not to do stuff like that, because there's always something that internally people aren't in tune with. And that's one thing that I'm trying not to make the mistake of. I'm trying to be in tune with the things that I feel, because, dog, when I'm older, I don't want to have to deal with these same feelings that I deal with. Again, I'm probably scrambling everywhere around, but that's kind of a big part about it. That's a big part about just life issues in general, is that a lot of the time we just push them away. Whatever the heck we're going through in our head, though. And again, that's why you want to usually talk to people about the issues that you're going through, but it can create perceptions. It can create different perceptions, and I don't even like to put my burdens onto other people that I care about, because it's like, again, I can create the perception of, damn, this kid's got nothing but issues to talk about, and it may not seem like it's gonna be that way until you really talk about your issues to somebody and they create that perception eventually, or it'll just become like I don't know. It's a lot of the time it's just it can put other people down, constantly talking about your issues to other people. Not constantly, but even just they could be going through a really difficult situation. I also noticed that some of the most open people out there are the ones that are really going through some of the most difficult situations in their lives. That's one thing that I really do notice about just the people that are going through the most have always been willing to ask, or like tell me, like, to hear what you got to say. I'm open to hear about your life and what type of issues you're going through. And it's like, I noticed that's what the people that are going through the most at that similar time. And it's like, you're willing to hear about and I do the same exact thing too. That's the crazy part about it. But it's like, I think you're willing to just hear about my issues when you already got your own issues going on. And it makes me think, who am I to even be talking to you about my issues? Who am I? You're able, it makes me feel a little bit weak sometimes. Like, other people are they're able to not talk to me about their issues. They're able to maintain stability without even talking about their issues. And me, it's like, I'm over here making a YouTube video. But that is one of the big reasons why I make YouTube videos in the first place. When I make informational videos or things like that, it's me kind of being expressive in the realness of me, in the real actual side of me, dog. Like, the real, who I actually am. It feels good to portray that out somewhere to people where you're not actually portraying it directly to people, because there's no really main perception that somebody can create based off of the relation between you and them, because you're posting your emotions publicly. You're not posting it directly to somebody else. So at the same time, it's really not as much of a personal thing. People will obviously create their perceptions of you, but they're gonna feel like at the end of the day, I haven't directly talked to this person about their life or whatever. They're just kind of expressing it on social media. At the end of the day, how do I create a perception of this person when I haven't even really spoke with them personally about things like that? I'm just hearing things about the outside. That's one of the big reasons why YouTube videos are, I do feel like YouTube is such a good grounding platform for people to talk about things that they're going through. Sometimes there are things that you don't just post out publicly, but I definitely find YouTube to be a great place for people to post out publicly things that may be difficult. So that's one thing that I really do, I can appreciate YouTube for compared to other social medias. It definitely seems a lot more forced, I'd say, if somebody goes on their Instagram story or something like that and starts to talk about their issues there. Instagram is one, a little bit more personal, and two, that's a lot of reading, dog. I don't got the time of day to be doing that. But YouTube, it's like you create yourself the time of day, so, and you kind of just expect to take a time out of your day to, you kind of expect to take the time out of your day to watch long videos sometimes, and to create or watch videos that you can relate to. It's understandable, so that's why I really do, I mess with YouTube, and I don't at the same time. I feel like there's a lot of issues with YouTube as well, but that's for a whole different informational video, you get what I'm saying? But another thing too, I guess I just want to get into multiple topics here. Another thing that I want to get into too is just growing up, you know, growing up to be like a young man, dog. It's like one thing that I do find myself often having difficulty with is being expressive. Again, I'm just saying the same stuff again, but overall, not even just with the perception of it, but being expressive in the right way, to the point where it doesn't, I kind of already, it's in a way something that I've just talked about. But one thing that I do, I want to also get out the way with talking about men being expressive, because it is like kind of a, it's not just a man thing, I know, but it is one thing that it's sort of a little bit of a pride thing, but also just like an awareness thing. So I feel like one thing that a lot of people know, this is nothing against those people that say like, you know, men do it to themselves, because again, it's like, it's understandable. I understand, like, dog, it really does seem like men do it to themselves. Technically, they really do. One thing that I will say is that people will say that, you know, oh, one thing that men do that messes them up is they feel like they can't express themselves to people. Oh, they're this and they're that. They're all like, when really it's not even like that. You can say whatever the heck, like there's no judgment. When really, dog, there's a lot of judgment. I'm sorry, but that's just the way that it is. There's judgment everywhere when it comes to men expressing themselves nowadays. It's really just not. It's naturally socially inappropriate sometimes. It just naturally is. It naturally is. And people won't realize it until they really hear a man express themselves and express their feelings. Like, there have genuinely been people that I know, and this hasn't really been like such a recent thing, but there are genuinely people that I know where I've been like really expressive towards them, and I've really told them about like my life and things that I've been going through, and it's like they genuinely get like a little bit like, okay, this guy's kind of like this dude's a little bit, what the frick. Like, a lot of people do just want like a stone cold strong man. It's understandable. So that's why a lot of men, they don't really speak about their issues a lot, you know. They do things to cope with them without really speaking about them. But that's where a lot of men go crazy, because it's like they don't know what to do with themselves, you know. People tell men to be expressive, and they tell men to, you know, talk about things, but I don't know, it's like the men, when they know what the outcome is going to be of them doing such a thing, it kind of makes it a little bit, it just, I don't know, it makes it so, it gives you an awareness factor, and notice it after you become really expressive. I don't know, maybe it's just me, maybe it's just me, but that's kind of the way that I feel. I don't know. I don't know if anybody's even made this far in the video, but I'm just gonna keep speaking. But yeah, that's just another thing with being a young man and all that. Young man, hold on. Yeah, one of the things that I really do, like I'm missing out on enough is people. One of the funnest things that I like to do is just make like stupid funny raps and things like that, you know. I just make stuff like that around, and that's the biggest connection that I really have with people, to the point where it's like I can really just wash away my issues like for a while, you know, just like take a break from them and calm the heck down, you know. But besides that, and that's not even a super long portion of my day, because I do get like stressed out and things like that, but that's not even a big portion of my day, is just having fun talking about funny rap. I'm not going to be making stupid rap songs all day. I'm really trying to find like a perspective that I can create to the point where I can always feel comfortable in my own skin. I can always feel, you know, I can always have like a reason to have a positive outlook. I don't know, there are reasons to have a positive outlook. I just got to realize them. I really got to find them in my own head. Only times when I'm really able to do that are during like times where it's during only specific times of the day where I'm really able to like wash away the difficult things that I got going on, or making stupid raps and talking with people. But you can't just have all that attached to one specific moment, you know, or like you can't have all that attached to like a specific moment during the day. You want to be able to, throughout your whole entire day, you gotta work. Throughout your entire life is a hustle. I've realized that life is really a hustle, and throughout your life, you really got to be able to like, dog, you got to be able to keep that junk rolling no matter what the frick. And so it's like you can't like, say if you're a car, right? Let's just put in the perspective of your car. You know, for like say for maybe around 9, let's say you're awake for 12 hours, and 9 of those 12 hours you're not even driving. But then for the last 3 hours that you're awake, the last 3 hours that you're awake, those are the times where you're able to like keep a positive mindset and start driving. That is not the way that I want to do it. I want to be able to drive all them damn 12 hours and then be able to chill out and sleep for them next 8. But I want to be able to keep the wheels rolling, you know. And the ways that I do that, it's difficult to find ways to do that when, like, as a person dealing with a lot of things that you don't know how to address, you don't know how to address, you don't know how to explain them to other people, or like express them to other people. You don't know how to do any of that, you know. And I think that's one thing that I'm learning, is how to properly do such a thing, you know. I'm really learning how to doing such a thing, I'm saying that as if like it's a bad thing, but no, I'm really trying to learn how to properly project my mind. I guess how to project my mind. Again, I'm almost trying not to say emotions, because like the way that it just sounds, it just sounds like I don't know. Again, it's probably that man ego. I don't know. I'm trying to find a way to project my mind onto people, project my mind to people. One of the best ways that you can really, you know, that's one of the best ways you can really deal with and cope with a lot of the issues, is by expressing yourself to people. This is one of the reasons I think a lot of people do therapy, is because they can really speak with people. They can speak with people that they don't really know, in order to get a perception from somebody, and not really be super worried about, or you don't even really get a perception from people like at therapy, or at least not that you think. At least I haven't really done therapy before, but it's just I kind of know the concept of it. You're speaking with somebody you've never met before about a lot of the things that you're dealing with. And it really makes it so it doesn't feel like you're just communicating with somebody that you really care about what they think of you. Anybody that we speak with, that we care about what they think about us. It's just the way that it goes, straight up. I mean, if like a person starts hating you out of nowhere and you really care about them, you're obviously going to be like, what the frick? That's the way that it is. I mean, I'm keeping it straight up honest. Everybody is insecure. Everybody in the whole entire world is insecure. It's just how the frick it goes. Insecure, I mean, by that I kind of just, maybe it's like, maybe not insecure. I'm thinking as the definition of insecure as being like caring what other people think about you. Everybody does that. You know, the fact that we wear clothes, the fact that we do our hair, the fact that we make ourselves look a certain way throughout the day, we're insecure. But it's okay by social standards. We're naturally socially created to be insecure. Everybody is. Because if you're not insecure, you're not living by the social standards, and you'll probably get arrested. I mean, that's just the way that it is. Maybe insecure is the wrong word for it, but that's kind of the way that I see it as a general definition. Maybe I should say is like I feel like in a way you can be both insecure and self-confident. Maybe it's not insecure, but self-aware. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm trying to find the right definitions in my head, you know? Yeah, that's just, I don't know. I'm sort of losing track, because I really don't have like a script with me or nothing. I'm just going off the dome, because I feel like that's where I can get the most authentic speaking. Just the most authenticness, I guess, is really what the way it is. I feel like I can just be the most authentic when speaking like this, you know? Speaking just straight up honest. The thing that I do want to speak on that I just remembered is addiction, actually, is being addicted. Every single person on this planet is addicted, and I'll probably make another video on this maybe one day, but everybody on the planet is addicted. Everybody's addicted to something. I don't care what anybody says, everybody's addicted to something. Y'all, I feel like if you're really using something to cope with, like, you know, things that you have going on, and it's like when it's not there, you don't feel good, you just don't feel the same. That's when I genuinely feel like it's an addiction. But like one addiction that I'll put in to apply to myself, that's gonna sound like what, but one thing I'll apply to myself is, say, eating healthy. I have an addiction to eating healthy. Now, the reason that this is an addiction for me, and an addiction is always bad for you. You can be addicted to eating healthy, and that'll be bad for you. I have an addiction to eating healthy, and that means that if I take a day to the point where I don't eat healthy, say, right, and I don't get no exercise, nothing like that, you know, I don't get none of that junk, I'm gonna feel like complete trash. I'm not gonna feel the same, and that's how it is. I'm just gonna like completely feel wrong. You know, one of the reasons that I eat healthy is to be able to control something in my life and make myself feel better about myself. I mean, it's just straight up how that's what people, or not, more like to be healthy, but that is another thing about it. I'm still growing, dog. I'm still gonna have my thoughts of wanting to, you know, look a certain, it's just the way that it go. I mean, I'm keeping it straight up honest. That's the way that it's gonna be for all teenagers, you know. Again, that's kind of one of the things with eating healthy, is that if I were to not eat healthy, I would completely look at myself different and lose a lot of the confidence that I have, which proves that eating healthy is an addiction to me, and it's an unhealthy addiction. If I don't maintain that fitness, then dog, I'm gonna completely look at myself differently. I try to think like, man, it doesn't matter what doesn't matter what I look, it doesn't matter what I do, you know, I love myself, you know, it doesn't matter, I'm me, like, you know, I'm young GT, like, can't nobody, but bruh, like, if I were to really lose, why is my freaking Audacity acting crazy? If I were to really lose that sense of, you know, fitness, working out, if I were to just try and let go of that addiction for a couple of days, I would feel a completely different way, and I understand that. I know we all have addictions. Some are, of course, more unhealthy than others, I will say, but any addiction, anything that has to do with the word addiction, is unhealthy for you, because it's an addiction. And addiction, like, that's the thing about it. Addiction is like too much of it. Addiction means too much. It doesn't really mean too much of it, but in a way, it's like you can't get rid of it. You're relying on something that's not even really you, I guess. I don't really know where I'm going with that part, but you gotta understand. You understand what I'm saying with the addiction thing. We all are addicted to something, dog. You can be addicted to freaking love. Like, a lot of people are addicted to love. You get what I'm saying? A lot of people deal with that. Or you could be addicted to just anything. Of course, there's the general ones that we know about, you know, drugs and things like that. Everybody's addicted to something. Of course, you gotta sometimes be chosen to what you're addicted to anyways. Sometimes you're just naturally gonna be addicted to things, but I feel like humans, we naturally are just naturally gonna create addictions to things because we attach ourselves so much to certain concepts. You know, one thing like, say people say getting money, you know, everybody's got to go and get money. And you're not going to want to have a limited source of money. You're going to want to have unlimited money. You would love that, right? Never, as we live in the society that we live in now, money is something that it's just something that you can never have enough of it. You just can't. And that's one thing. Everybody goes and, you know, we all are running towards money as much as we can get. You know, it's not like we're trying to find a limit. No, we're getting to as much as we can possibly get. That's the way that the world works, and that's the hustle. So we're never going to be completely happy with what we have. Just because that's the way that our system works. We're never going to be completely happy with what we have. So that means that it is in a way an addiction. You really are addicted to going for money, and that's okay, because that's the way that we live. That's what it is, man. And I gotta understand that too. We can't be so focused on, you know, controlling this or changing the system, things like that, whatever. I don't know. We can't be so focused on why the system is unfair. We got to start focusing on working through the system to try and changing things after we work through the system. Again, it's like I'm speaking a lot on things that I may speak on in future videos. I'm running out of time here. I'm about to make it to school in this video or whatever. So I really just want to, you know, thank you for listening if you really did. I don't know if you listened to this whole thing, dog. It's so much to freaking listen to. But anyways, I'm gone. Thank you.